Magnus Carlsen, who has become known as one of the finest chess players of the modern era, has had a phenomenal journey that has been chock full of triumphs that leave one in awe and exhibitions of tactical ability that are unmatched in terms of mastery. However, even though he has participated in many exciting games during his career, one specific competition sticks out as perhaps the most exciting match he has ever experienced. This match not only highlighted Carlsen's remarkable competencies, but also tested the limits of what humans can understand when it comes to chess. In this video, we will go into the legendary matchup that amazes the chess community and has solidified Carlsen's reputation as a genuine chess master. The beginning of the highly exciting game. Carlsen and Rapor's showdown in the 2022 World Blitz Chess Championship shaped into a thrilling and tightly contested encounter. Carlsen took the initiative by moving his pawn to position d4, and Rapor followed by moving his pawn to position e6. After giving it much thought, Carlsen decided to go with the French defense and moved his pawn over the king by 2 squares. Carlsen made the move pawn to h4, intending to generate a dynamic position on the king side of the board. Rapor peacefully extended his knight to the e7 level without being concerned by the progress of Carlsen's pawn. Carlsen utilized a bold stance by advancing his pawn to h5 in the game. Rapor then played h6, stopping white from playing h6 and ending the exchange. Carlsen checked on d5 with his bishop, and Rapor proposed a bishop trade as the game progressed. Carlsen turned down the offer to swap bishops. Rapor decided to end the position after realizing that the light square bishop white possessed was stronger than that of black. He performed this by moving a pawn to c4, which sealed the entire middle. Carlsen chose to advance his bishop to f4. Rapor castled on the queen side. Carlsen moved his knight to e3 and took precautions to protect his king, while Rapor prepared to shift his queen to the king's side, hoping to launch a feint later by advancing his pawns to f6 or g5, respectively. The fallacy committed by Rapor Carlsen forked the pawns on c3 and a3 when he played his bishop to f3, and Rapor responded by deploying his knight to b5. At this point, the match reached a really exciting stage. Magnus made an aggressive and unexpected move when he gave up his knight on square d5, adding a new tension element to the game. By moving his pawn to position e6, Magnus successfully completed a check. After the king had moved, Magnus made the most of his chance and took possession of the f7 pawn. Rapor reacted by relocating his queen to the f5, strengthening his hold on the top spot. Carlsen made a strategic move by giving up his knight on the move d5, which was a determined wager. Unexpectedly, Magnus placed his rook on square b4, which was vulnerable to capture by Rapor's knight. Magnus captured the knight with his queen while simultaneously launching an assault on the bishop on square a4. After a few exchanges on the f3, Rapor identified an intriguing interim move by moving his bishop to e4. Rapor decided to accept the rook, putting Magnus a further 2 rooks behind. Magnus increased the tension exerted on the spot by bringing his pawn into the battle. Sadly for Rapor, he committed a mistake when he moved his rook to d8, which cost him the game. Magnus skipped over this critical step and instead played f8, elevating his pawn to the position of a new queen. Magnus's victory in its own right. Rapor gave up a rook for a bishop to defuse the situation while still keeping his rook's superiority intact. Rapor eventually made the game-winning move, g5. At least 3 times throughout the game, Rapor missed the chance to draw. Rapor eventually succeeded in trading queens on g4, which helped to equalize the position. Time was running out for both competitors. The match was at a thrilling climax, where the consequences of even a minor error in judgment could have been catastrophic for both sides. Both players advanced their pawns to become queens of the board. After several checks that went in an upward motion, Rapor placed his rook on square c8 and promoted another pawn in the process. At most, 20 seconds were left on the timer for both competitors. Carlsen transferred his queen to position f7 in preparation for a checkmate on b7. Rapor made a disastrous mistake when he moved his queen to position e8. Rapor's attempt to take the queen from a8 was thwarted by white's knight in one attack on b7. Rapor played brilliantly for the majority of the game, but he ultimately lost as Magnus sneaked back with 2 queens. While the queen moved to position g8, Magnus defended the position. Rapport gave up when he saw that Magnus would mate him with a rear-rank rook and queen move. That's all for this video. Leave your thoughts on this moment. Also, take a minute out and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned. See you soon.